Hi, my name is Dr. Bonnie Jones, and I'm a veterinarian at Delphos Animal Hospital in Delphos, Ohio. This is my friend Dixie, the Golden Retriever, and her owner, my vet assistant, Megan Myers. We're here today to talk to you about first aid for pets. I think the first thing that every pet owner should know is what is your veterinarian's after-hours emergency policy. Not all veterinarians provide their own after-hours emergency services for their clients. Some will refer to local veterinary emergency facilities. So it would be best to know before you have an emergency what those policies are and where you need to go. Next, I'd like to introduce to you what I think are essentials for a basic first aid kit for pets. You can put this together in any fashion. Mine just happens to be a toolbox. On the top, something that I think is very important to have handy is a business card or magnet for your veterinarian's facility, so you know where to go and when to call and who to call. You want to have that handy. Next, let's go over what should be in that kit, and that includes things like hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is great to use when you have minor wounds or abrasions that need to be cleaned out. It's the first line of defense for any wound, but it's also great to use to induce your pet to vomit. If your pet has ingested a poison such as chocolate, raisins, antifreeze, this is something your veterinarian may advise you to do immediately at home. So have your peroxide and your veterinarian's phone number handy. Next is Benadryl. Ours is a generic Benadryl. This is something that your veterinarian may recommend if your pet has experienced an insect bite or allergic reaction. So you want to call your veterinarian, let them know what you have, what strength, and they can advise you on how to administer that. Next is Pepto-Bismol. Pepto-Bismol is great for routine diarrheas in pets. I'm a big fan of the tablets. Liquid is also available, but it often does take a lot of liquid, especially for a dog the size of Dixie. So call your veterinarian to find out if it is appropriate when your pet is having diarrhea and how much to give. Other things that are great to have on hand, topical antibiotic ointments and cortisone creams. Again, your veterinarian can advise you if and when those are appropriate to use. Next, I wanted to talk to you about bandaging, and bandage materials should also be part of your first aid kit. Let's say Dixie has a wound on one of her limbs here. What we want to have handy is your basic gauze, some absorbent pads. We've got roll gauze and tape. And let's say her wound is here on her leg. I'm going to use a couple of gauze to cover the wound, and then the roll gauze to apply around the wound, holding the gauze squares in place. We're going to overlap each turn about 50%. And scissors should also be part of your emergency kit. And then tape. The tape is an essential part to give you your staying power for the bandage. You want to make sure you go around the hair above and below your bandage materials. And again, you're overlapping about 50% each trip. Good girl. You're okay. Good job. And at the top, you want to be sure to go above the tape, or above the gauze as well. That, again, is where your staying power is. And there we have that. Now, let's say Dixie has had an unfortunate accident, and you suspect that she has a broken limb. We also need to talk about splinting limbs. And at home, something that's as simple as a rolled-up newspaper can be used for your splint. We just put some rubber band around the folded up newspaper, slide it on the back of the leg, and in the same fashion that you bandage the limb, you will bandage the newspaper in place. In the veterinary hospital, we use a lot of plastic splints like this. At home, you could probably mimic this with PVC pipe cut in half. Something you want to keep in mind with injured pets is they don't always remember who it is that they love when they're in pain. And so I recommend having some muzzle material handy too. Again, in the hospital, we'll use nylon muzzles that fit on like this and are secured behind the head with a clasp. At home, anything that's belt-like or cloth-like, we're going to use some roll gauze to demonstrate here, can also be used to apply a muzzle. So we're going to slip that over the nose Make a pass under the chin, and then snug it again behind the ears with a bow. So then your dog is safe to be handled if they are painful. And if she is not able to walk, something else that would be handy to have is a piece of plywood to act as a stretcher or a heavy towel or blanket to carry her into the veterinary hospital. Make sure, once again, that you know where your kid is kept and that all family members in the household know where it is. Have your veterinarian's phone number handy, and good luck with your pet first aid.